Hello, I hope you've had a good day. And this is our last lesson of the week. So it's our PSHE lesson. And we've got a really fun activity for our lesson today. But before we get to that, let's have our just checking questions to see what we can remember. So thinking about last week, achieving a goal should be easy. Is that true or false? Definitely false. So a goal is something that you work for. You have to work for it. Sometimes you have to work really hard to get there, but it's always worth it in the end. Okay, last unit question now. If someone eats different food to you, they're strange. True or false? Okay, again, definitely false. Okay. People like different types of food. They have different tastes in food. And that's just all part of what makes us unique and special. So it's absolutely not strange. Okay, last term. Question from last term. If a friend tells you they don't want to play with you today, they are being mean. True or false? Okay, it's false again. Friends don't always want to play with the same people, and that is absolutely fine. And it works both ways. Sometimes you might not want to play with your friend. That doesn't mean you're being mean. It just means that you want to play with somebody else or you want to be on your own that day. Okay, it's not mean. And last year question, if someone does or says something I don't like, I should what? What should you do? Okay, so there's a few different answers we could give to that question, or a few different ways we could finish that sentence. But the main one that we focused on last year, and we keep focusing on this year as well, is that if someone says or does something you don't like, you should tell them. Tell them you don't like it, okay? And then hopefully they will stop, okay? Hopefully they'll stop because they might not know that you don't like it. And if they don't stop, that's when you can tell a grown-up. Of course, if it's something really awful, if someone says something really horrible or does something really horrible, like hurting you physically, then you do need to tell a grown-up as well, because we need to help you to sort it out. But if it's just something small, like somebody touches your hair or something, just tell them you don't like it, and then I'm sure they will stop. Okay, so our learning objective today is to explore stretchy learning. You might be wondering, what is stretchy learning? Never fear, we'll be explaining that in more detail in just a moment. But our steps to success today are: I can identify how I feel when faced with a new challenge. I can persevere at a new challenge. What does that word persevere mean? Have a think. So persevere just means to keep going. So I can keep going at a new challenge, even if I'm finding it tricky. And finally, I understand that new challenges can stretch my learning. Okay, so here's our vocabulary. Now, firstly, learning. I think we all have a good idea about what learning means, but the kind of dictionary definition is the acquisition of knowledge or skills. So gaining new knowledge and skills. Stretchy learning, I told you we'd be revisiting that. Stretchy learning means stretching or extending your abilities. So pushing yourself beyond what you're comfortable with to make sure that you learn and can do more. Challenge, we've talked about this word already. It's just a difficult task or problem. And feelings are emotional states or reactions to things. So a nice little activity to get us started today. I want you to go and find someone in your house, say hello to them, maybe give them a hug and tell them something that you love about them. Okay, then I want you to come back and we'll talk about how that made you feel. So pause the video here and go and do that now. Okay, so how did that make you feel? I hope it made you feel really nice and warm and fuzzy inside. Definitely a bit happier. it's really important to make sure that you tell people in your life how important they are to you and the things that are special about them. Okay, and it's not just good for those people to know they are appreciated, you appreciate them, but also it just always makes you feel a bit better yourself as well. Okay, I hope you're feeling nice and positive now. Let's have some calm me time. Okay, so remember, you can choose any of these pictures to focus on, any of them that make you feel really calm, or you might choose to close your eyes. And then we're going to practice our breathing to calm us down. So remember, we take a deep inhale through your nose, means breathe in through your nose, and out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth. If you'd like to, you can pause the video here to keep practicing, just to make sure you're in a really calm place for today's lesson. Okay, time to open your mind. So first, I'd like you to stand up. And secondly, can you stretch as high as you can towards the ceiling? Arms up, stretching as high as you can. Okay, keep those arms up and then stand on your tiptoes and stretch even higher. Okay, then take your arms out to the side and stretch as far as you can to either side of the room, stretching your fingers out. How far can you go? Oh. Okay, so just like how we can stretch our body, come sit down if you haven't already, just like we stretch our bodies, we can also stretch our mind and our thinking skills. And when we learn new things, that's how we do it. We learn new things by stretching our thinking skills. This often means trying again and again and stretching a bit more each time. Okay, so something that's easy, that we find really easy, is not stretching our thinking skills. Something that is a bit harder and might be a bit frustrating, that is stretching our thinking skills. And it's really important that we challenge ourselves to do that. Okay, so today you have a new challenge which might stretch your learning. I want you to think about how that makes you feel knowing that you have a new challenge. So pause here and talk to anyone that you're with, or just have some thinking time. How do you feel now that you know that you're going to have a new challenge today? So you might be feeling a little bit apprehensive or a bit nervous. You might be thinking, oh no, what if I'm not any good at it? Or, oh no, what if I can't do it? And that's all perfectly natural feelings for having a new challenge. But it's important that we remember that these challenges help us to stretch our learning. Now let's find out what that new challenge is. Big reveal. So today we are going to learn to make paper aeroplanes. Okay, so you're going to need a piece of paper. So pause here to go and get yourself a piece of paper and then come back and we'll start. So just like we talked about last week, to achieve a goal, there are always steps to help us get there, because achieving a goal is not easy. We have to take it in steps. Here are the steps to achieving today's goal. What's today's goal, everybody? That's right, our goal is to make the paper aeroplane. And this challenge is going to stretch your learning because you probably haven't tried to do this before. You might have done, but it is quite a difficult skill. We might find it difficult. We might have to stop and start again, maybe get a new piece of paper if we make a mistake, but it's all part of our steps to achieving our goal. It's all going to stretch our learning. It's a positive experience, okay? So number one, first step, you take a piece of paper and fold it in half lengthways. Now you're going to want probably a hard surface to fold your paper on. That's the best way of doing it, so a table or a floor. Okay. So this is what your paper should look like now. And we're going to move on to step two. So we need to open up a piece of paper and we're folding down the corners. Just the top 2 corners. If you need to, if it's taking a little bit longer, don't forget to just pause the video between each step. Okay, so now your paper should look like this. And then for step 3, we're just folding down again. Okay. Now I just actually made a little mistake there as well. It's okay, I'm keeping going, keeping trying. Now your paper should look like this, which is step 4. So then let's look at step 5. So step 5 shows us we just have to fold it back in half. Not that way, we fold it the other way so that you can see this fold is on the outside. Okay, and that's step 6. And then for step 7, we need to fold again. This is where it starts to get a little bit trickier, I think. So I'm going to use the table to fold it again. But this is the last step after that. Okay, so then it should look like this. And then if we open it out, there is the finished paper airplane. And you can throw it. Careful not to throw it at anybody though. Okay, so please do send in any photos of your paper airplanes for us to have a look. Now I want you to reflect now on how you feel now that you've succeeded in achieving a goal and stretched your learning. How do you feel now? Okay, I'd like you to write that down, and then along with your lovely photograph, please send it into the year1@thepalmeracademy.com email address. Have a lovely weekend, everybody, and we'll see you again on Monday.